Hello everyone and welcome to Rosetta Stone Review 2020. This is brought to you by Wizards Fluency Magic 360. So in this presentation, I'm going to outline a few parts of the benefits and disadvantages of using Rosetta Stone. And the good points of Rosetta Stone are these 5 things, basically method of immersion, deductive reasoning, TruAccent technology, and live tutors. I'm going to talk about these 4 good points of Rosetta Stone, then I'm going to talk about the bad points, and then we're back to good points, and I'm going to talk about the new pricing structure. It is very nice, and I'm going to show you later, and I'm going into detail and explain very clearly on what are these terms, like what is deductive reasoning. I think you know what is it, but do you know what is TruAccent technology? Or maybe you do not really know why it is as slow as a turtle. So there are timestamps available in the video description below, so you can click on what you want to have a look at. So without further ado, let's kick things off with part 1, method of immersion. So just think of how you learn your first language. You never had any translations, right? You learn wherever you were. And this one should be learn wherever you were. And repeat after parents or teachers. You seldom learn with translation. Of course, impossible. You can't learn through translation anyway, because this is your first language. And Rosetta Stone also uses the method of immersion. In the whole course, you can't see a single English word except the cover page or the login page. And someone may say, oh, adults can't learn through immersion. In fact, this is a misconception. In fact, it is wrong, and adults can learn like that, only slower. And if adults really focus 100% attention, like for half an hour a day, they can also learn properly. As an adult, I can also learn like that, and learning slowly isn't a problem. When you were small, you spent more than 5 years to learn and speak to intermediate level, so this is still okay. I have no idea why people think that, oh, they can't learn like that, because they don't really put their focus. There are so many successful language learners out there, and I don't think that it is the case. And I now can speak fluent French, at least. Fluent French. Next, I'm going to talk about the parts of deductive reasoning. So what is deductive reasoning? So I'm going to talk in a mathematical concept first before talking about a language concept, because a mathematical concept you will understand it more clearly. So we all know that rectangles have 4 right angles, and ABCD is a rectangle, like this. Using deductive reasoning, we know that ABCD has 4 right angles. Why? ABCD is a rectangle. Let's call this A, B, C, and D. So this is a rectangle, and there are 4 right angles for all the rectangles. And because ABCD is one of those rectangles, so that's why ABCD has 4 right angles. So now, you already know what is a boy is eating, and the picture shows that the boy is eating a fruit that is red in color. And the instructor of Rosetta Stone said it is a boy is eating an apple. Then you will understand that the fruit that is red in color is called apple. I'll give you another example. So maybe you can see a boy and a girl in the picture, and you already know that a boy is a garçon. Then when Rosetta Stone tells you a picture with a boy and a girl, it's called a garçon et une fille, then you will know a girl is une fille. Of course, you don't need to translate, it's just something that happens automatically in your brain. So with deductive reasoning, you can learn more, and you need to use your brain to process a lot of things so that you can remember more. Next, we're going to talk about the TruAccent technology. So what is it? It's a speech recognition technology developed by Rosetta Stone, and you can adjust the difficulty, and my recommendation is 7. Of course, the default setting is 4, and it's quite reasonable, but I think if you really want to speak it clearly, 7. And don't try to go to level 10, it's just everything you say is wrong. And it's accurate. Some other apps is like, even if you didn't say anything, you will be still correct. So this is a not ideal situation, and I know that Babel also has a very good speech recognition technology, and it tells you why you are wrong. But that doesn't really work. It just keeps on saying that I'm saying YouTube or happy. I don't know what is it. I just want to say a garçon, and then it just says you are saying YouTube. What are you saying about? Oh, that is terrible. So next, it will give instant feedback so that you don't need to keep on waiting or wait for a person to correct your speaking. You may say, oh, then that is poor. I want someone to correct my speaking. Then, live tutors. Benefits? Using what you've learned in your Rosetta Stone course, they are native speakers so that they are very familiar with those languages, and they will try to use what you have already learned in the Rosetta Stone course. For example, you already know some basic conversation skills like bonjour, je m'appelle, blah, 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 something like that. Then they will try to ask you to introduce yourself, and in your entire session you will only be speaking in a new language, I think. And personally, I would not book a session anyway because I have never tried that live tutor session. I don't think it is really useful anyway. I just go to that country and I can speak to natives directly. But for people who can't go to that country but you still want to learn that language, of course this is a very ideal situation. And then you can go to book a session, and you can book a session with your favorite time with any session you like, for a private or group session. If you like private, of course you can teacher to student, it's better. But if you say group, so that you can hear what other people say and see if they are correct or wrong and learn from others, then you can choose group sessions. Next, we are going to talk about the slowness. It loads for a long time before entering the lesson. I had experienced a lot of time, like 1 minute before entering the lesson. It's very annoying. And you know, when I tap total.rosettastone.com, it would redirect me to the rosettastone.com/plan. That is terrible. I don't want to go to that plan because that plan is very terrible. I'm going to talk about it later. And its speech recognition technology isn't working very well on low-end PC. So if your PC is very slow, or if you are always working in noisy environments, or maybe you want to use your mobile phone that is very slow, or old mobile phone, it's not going to work because its speech recognition requires a better PC. So usually on my low-end PC, I'm going to use level 4 for the speech recognition so that it won't say everything I'm wrong. And for a better PC, I would say I would use level 7. So the speech recognition isn't going to work too well on low-end PC because they are slower. Okay, next we're going to talk about the poor lesson plans. So I'm already doing unit 17, but it still asks me to do unit 4, even though I've completed unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to 16. All of them I've completed. I have no idea why it just still asks me to do unit 4 for no reason. Because there are not many options to choose from. It only allows you to learn 6 units if you choose beginner. At first I choose beginner, and then terrible things happen. It just allowed me to learn 6 units if I follow the plan properly. So afterwards, I hate the plan very much and I drop it. I abandon it. It's not going to work. People would like to start from unit 1 to unit 20 so that they can learn and take the full course, like no matter how long it takes, at least taking the half of the course, but not only 6 units, right? There are 20 units out there and you just ask people to learn 6 units. And of course you know that 6 units, that means that 24 lessons in total, and each lesson takes around 2 hours to 3 hours. So after summing up, you just like have 70 something, but that is not very nice because people may want to learn from lesson 1 to the final lesson, and I think I am one of the people who wants to do like this. Therefore, I would recommend you to not to follow the plan, and don't ever choose to follow the plan. It's very terrible, and you can only choose from language lover, traveler, and even sometimes it doesn't allow you to do some exercises like writing or listening because I select language lover for the plan. It's very terrible. I'm really meaning it. Next, we are going to talk about the pricing, and it's one of the big plus for Rosetta Stone. It's more flexible now. Originally, in the past, it's like $500 US dollars, and then it's very expensive. But now it's more flexible and it's more reasonable prices with unlimited lifetime subscription. That means that it allows you to learn all the 24 languages with lifetime subscription. So you can learn all the 24 languages if you really like it for your entire life, and that is really nice. In the past, there were only like one language. You can choose one language but lifetime subscription, but there aren't an option for unlimited languages lifetime subscription. So, are there any alternatives to Rosetta Stone? Of course. For best number of phrases and words for you to learn, of course, it's memorize. There are more than 5,000 words for you to learn, and there are a lot of phrases, sentences that you can speak and recite. And they take care of things like short-term memory and long-term memory very clearly, and I really like it. And it's quite fun for the speech review. You can have a look at it at memrise.com. If you're a traveler, I would recommend Bazoo. Why? Because Bazoo is nice for people who want to sit in a horrible situation and then you suddenly need to speak in that language. Then it's best for travelers. It won't ask you to use some direct translations. For example, it will ask something like that. Oh, do you want to go to a party? I mean, maybe it will gives you a context, a piece of information, and said, oh, do you want to go to a party? And then it says, you want to go to the party, what should you answer? And then you need to answer oui. That means yes. So it won't just directly ask you to translate yes to oui. It is forcing you into a real world situation and directly use your new words that you learn. So this is half immersion. I would say for Bazoo it's half immersion. It's not really completely immersion, and there are a lot of translations there to learn, but for the practice and exercises there are fewer translations, and I think this is a very nice thing. Next we have best for school type learners, Babel. I won't recommend this if you want some more interesting and funnier programs. It's a little boring for Babel. For like the whole course you just keep on typing and following the words, and it is not very colorful. The whole page is only orange and white. I don't really like it. I want some colorful pages so that I can read and see the differences and feel more comfortable when looking at the screen. So I don't think it is very ideal for people who want to learn languages casually. And for Babel, of course, it will learn a lot of things and you can learn very deeply, like Rosetta Stone. But I would say Rosetta Stone you can learn more, and for Babel you can well, learn less interestingly. And if you want to look for a program that is very fun to use and completely free, I would recommend Duolingo. It's completely free, you don't need any subscription, and there are only some useless features like what streak, day streak, or anything. I have no idea. Maybe if you want to support free education, then you can buy Duolingo Plus, but a lot of people would just use Duolingo for free. Otherwise, they will just opt for Babel or Bazoo because they can be even cheaper than Duolingo Plus and they teach better. And for best speaking and listening with the Dr. Pimsleur method, of course, using Pimsleur app. Dr. Pimsleur is basically a person who who always study about how to teach language effectively, and before he died, he managed to make a Pimsleur app to educate people about not an app, it's just kind of software or whatever it is. It's nice. And my recommendation is Rosetta Stone okay, Rosetta Stone is best for you if you want to learn a language that will stay useful to you for a long period of time, like for lifetime. It uses the method of immersion so that you won't forget any translations very easily. It will put your things in long-term memory very effectively because it will teach you using immersion and deductive reasoning for you to keep on moving forward so that you can remember more and make progress quickly and understand for your entire life nearly. Method of immersion makes it easier to remember, yeah, and they have a lot of features including fun to use with game stories, audio companion, etc. So even if you're sleeping, you can keep on listening to the audio companion instead of just reciting a word list for unknown reason. Audio companion is very useful because when you are Again, when you were small, you never had any translations, and you just kept on listening to your parents speaking or your teachers speaking. And that is the same case with Rosetta Stone. It keeps on repeating some words or phrases or sentences, and then your brain will start to understand what are they. And there are also stories. Again, it is a very nice feature for people to use. And there are also different games.